Hey everyone, welcome back. So Dralo44 here. I hope you're having a great evening, day or night so far. So just bringing you another video about sort of training mechanics and how to improve them and things. Before we get into it, naturally I did want to mention that at 250 subscribers I am going to be giving away a Sky Blue Interstellar, ideally with some sort of certification if I can get hold of one, and if I can I will most certainly do that. But as you can sort of see in the background, Sky Blue Interstellar looks really nice. It goes on most cars, really clean, and you can kind of colour it how you prefer. So if you're a fan of the greens, the purples, the blues, whatever colour, you can sort of pretty much change it to how you want. And it does look really nice. And if you decide that you don't want to use it and you want to get rid of it, then of course you can just sell it for credits. Generally speaking, that should be quite an easy sale. I know some of the Interstellars have dropped a bit in price, but Sky Blue is one of the colours that maintains its value to some degree. And yeah, it is a very nice decal regardless. I mean, look at just the design. It looks absolutely beautiful, and in my opinion, definitely one of the best ones. So all you got to do to enter is just turn on notifications, subscribe, write a comment below with your ID, and then pretty much leave a comment if you haven't already done that. Right, well, let's get into the content. So as you can see in the background, I mean, basically, if you go onto your sort of menu, you go to custom sort of training, you can actually go onto a browser here, and you can actually look all of the sort of like the training sides, and you can actually kind of pick out one that maybe you want to like improve on. You can favorite it by pressing triangle on PlayStation. I imagine it'd probably be same on Xbox. PC might be slightly different key, but just have a look and see what that is, and you can save it to your favorite, so it's easy access. You can create your new own sequence if you want, but the main thing of this is just to improve certain areas that maybe you're not so good at. So I mean, I have lots and lots of areas that I'm not that great at, positioning sometimes and goalkeeping and things. So what I do is I like to practice goalkeeping, especially for tournaments. Sometimes I will totally mess them up, so you'll sort of see here that for the first couple I completely mess up my positioning for some reason, and it was pretty dreadful. But these are things that you can just sort of get improved on and kind of just pretty much just like actually get better and things like that. Now yeah, don't ask, a couple of times I did really, like early on, I really did kind of like, these were easy ones as well. I don't know why I was messing them up a little bit. I just, for some reason, was just getting the timing all wrong. I think it was just, jumping on, and this was the first thing, and just kind of getting it a little bit, whatever. These ones, not so bad. I mean, again, as long as you kind of know. I mean, the basically, with the sort of like the one I'm using, the first few are really straightforward, to be quite honest. Now, as I sort of said before, I mean, I'm not the biggest sort of freestyle trainer. I don't really tend to sort of jump into the freestyling side of things. I'm not one that, kind of just likes that. But, the way I learn is kind of like mainly in game. And I do find that, generally speaking, I do improve a lot. I am messing these up, though. I mean, obviously, these are much easier. I should be using ball cam, if I'm honest. Like, for these kind of training things, I really would recommend ball cam. Car cam is good for some things, and it's only because I'm used to it in game that perhaps, kind of is okay. But to be honest, yeah, I'm really messing these up. I know to preempt it on the bounce, because with the balls, when they bounce really high, preempt them as they bounce on the ground. It's much easier, as you can sort of see. As it bounces, preempt it and block it. For some reason, my timing was just a little bit off, and yeah. Now, sometimes these ones are really hard, and I do mess them up. These are quite hard, some of these ones, and I'm not very good at sort of turning and double jumping and things like that. Now, sometimes, as you can sort of see, I'm kind of just almost getting it, but not quite, and I'm missing it. And this is kind of like the thing. I mean, at the end of the day, I am not the best goalkeeper, so this is kind of why I'm highlighting, showing me really messing up and looking terrible, because, I only am going to get better by actually kind of practicing this sort of stuff and getting it wrong. And as you can sort of see, I really am getting it very wrong here, because, okay, this is how you learn and improve. Now, what I should be doing is, with this, I should be double jumping, and I should be actually kind of getting the height and blocking it, which is what I do eventually. But, this is the thing, it's just, if you just get it slightly wrong, you kind of mess it up and sort of, all those things. But it's okay to make mistakes. I think this is like one of the biggest things about Rocket League is that in game you are going to make mistakes and you're going to get it wrong. And in game, I suppose the worst part about it is that, of course, if you mess up and you're trying to defend and you like literally cannot block a ball, it's very frustrating. Now, as you can sort of see, I mean, I'm so close to actually getting that. I'm just a slight fraction out, and eventually I do block it. But it feels good, like when you do succeed, it feels really good. And of course, in these kind of scenarios, it does kind of make you a bit quicker reactions. You start seeing the balls, because these balls sometimes, they're not always as awkward. Sometimes they are. They flick off the ceiling, they flick off like 2 people, and it's an absolute nightmare. You're never going to save every ball. But these are just ways to improve. There are ones for shooting if you're not very good in that area. There are ones that are good in different ones. Now, I'm sure there are a lot of you know this, so I mean, I'm obviously not maybe telling you something that's groundbreaking, but I'm just saying that these sort of things are very, very good to improve you as a player. And this is the sort of thing that, although I'm not a very good freestyling trailer, I don't like going into training and freestyling and just kind of like driving around. That doesn't work for me mainly, and it works for a lot of people, just not myself. But this kind of thing actually is really good, because what it does is it improves my reactions, it makes me a better goalkeeper, and the reason for sort of trying to be a better goalkeeper is because in tournaments I have JHD and KY Rich in attack, and I then stay back in goal, and the reason for that is because if they do get past either those two, what I want is to make sure that I can defend and kind of try and prevent a goal being scored. Now, unfortunately, you're never going to always do it, and that's fair enough, but when you can, it's very satisfying. And I've got a great video for very soon to sort of show and highlight that in much more detail. As you can see, I'm really just not getting this one at all. This one was one of the hardest ones I found. Sometimes it shoots like literally before you even get to start, so you don't even move and it's like straight away fired, and you're just like, yeah, okay, I can't do that one. And I think in the end, I have a feeling that that one may have slightly changed. I might have skipped that one in the end. Yeah, I did. I just skipped that one because I just couldn't do it. The thing is I know how to do it, I just didn't have a lot of time because it was counting down for a tournament, so I didn't bother. Yep, as you can sort of see though, literally, there's so many techniques to learn in this game. I mean, like the double jump, literally that one is quite hard, and if you get it wrong, you get a kind of a backflip. Boosting and sort of controlling your car and using air roll to kind of do it, things like that, it takes skill. I mean, I've got air roll at R2 for my PlayStation controller, but I do know people that have it at R1 and L1 as well. So again, because you can use square as it, yes, fine. Sometimes it is a really good idea to change the settings if it's easier for you. And sometimes these balls are awkward. These are the kind of balls that you see, and actually, these are the kind of the ones that are awkward to save. And in game, you will come across that. So it's just a really good way to just gain that experience and just get a little bit better. But I mean, let me know. I mean, do you use these kind of programs? I mean, have you ever seen them, or do you just not use them? And do you find that they're useful? Because I think like the biggest thing is that with training in general, I do find that I kind of improve just by kind of mucking around and getting it wrong, and I do get it wrong. I mean, I'm not ashamed to say that I get things wrong in game. I make some dreadful mistakes. I don't think there's any such thing as a perfect player, but if I'm playing badly or I'm having one of those games, I play awful. It's one of those games that is just so embarrassing, it's actually untrue, and I've had that before. And it's really, really frustrating. But, it is Rocket League, and I think the best thing is to have just a laugh with it and just say, you know what, I'm going to have some fun with it and not take it too serious. But if you're competitive like I am, that is easier said than done. But as you can see, sort of literally managed to sort of like flip up, use boost, and of course block it. Now this one is the one that I am most proud of. This took me a lot of attempts, a lot of getting it wrong, but I did eventually get it done in the weirdest way. But kind of like, fortunately, I suppose I was quite fortunate and quite lucky in that I had JHD doing the same training thing while we were waiting for the tournament, and he actually told me kind of what I needed to do. Because one of the things that I've noticed on the packs is it doesn't actually kind of tell you what you need to do. you're just supposed to know it. And if you're a high level player in Diamond or anything like that, it's great, you probably already know these mechanics. But then for a lot of us who realistically aren't and you know, are still learning, it's quite these are really, really tough. And as you can see, I'm just getting it very, very wrong. Now I know I did say my air roll was actually R2. I just realised as well that's actually wrong. It's L2. Don't know why I got that wrong. I just suddenly thought about it and was like, actually, that is definitely L2. So yeah, I mean, like, you just use whatever you feel best. But if you want to customize the controls, it does help. And it kind of is something that just, again, will help you improve and things. And the reason I use L2 for it is because I do play shoot 'em up games as well. L2 is often primarily an aim button. R2 is often shoot. Well, it's accelerate in this game, but it does help me. And that's if you're playing console. I guess if you're on PC or something, you probably use completely different controls anyway because you're using mouse and keyboard. So let me know if you do actually use these kind of things. You know, do you use the training in this particular way? I know it's not freestyle training, it's kind of like actually, you know, situational, but do you use them? Do you find them handy? Did you know it existed? Let me know if this was useful. This is just something different I'm doing. I just want to provide as many guides as I can, just to really kind of, you know, get that correct. Now, what I found out in the end with this particular one, this is very tricky, is that what you've got to do is you've got to jump, you've got to then air roll, boost, and kind of spin backwards to kind of gain the control. And eventually, I actually do accomplish it and do it, and I'm very, very pleased. I came very close, but actually I kind of like get it right, although I did knock the ceiling. And I also, if you get it wrong, you backflip twice as well, which is really, really great. If you hit the ceiling, it doesn't work either. If you get the directions wrong, it doesn't work either, but there you go. Finally, I got it spot on, and I actually accomplished it, and it felt absolutely amazing. So, yeah, I mean, like, that was really, really, really good. But yeah, I mean, like, as you can sort of see, it just practices mechanics and goals and things like that as well. So hopefully you found this kind of informative and useful in some way. Let me know if it did. If you want to drop a like on the video, then that would always help me out. The more people who get to see this, it benefits them as well, because of course these guides, not every player knows these type of things. I didn't really understand it or know it myself until the KY Rich actually explained it to me. So I only learned that not too long ago, and I've been playing for a while, just never really used it. So this is why I wanted to sort of share this type of content. I realised that there's so many new players now coming into the Rocket League community that there's just so many of us that maybe just don't know these simple little things that maybe some others just take for granted. Now, as regards to the video, of course, it was delayed and it is a lot later than I would have liked. It's getting a little bit more difficult posting every day, so bear in mind that if for any reason there isn't a video every day, do not worry, there will be one as soon as possible. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of the day, evening or night, whatever it is you're doing. And of course, I will see you in the next one. So until then, all the best and take care. Cheers now. Bye-bye.